Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are both campaigning in the battleground state of Michigan today. Both candidates are holding several events in the Wolverine state where 15 electoral votes are up for grabs. Recent CBS News polling has this race in a dead heat there. CBS News political reporter Zak Hudak is here now with more. Zach, good to see you. We always hear about Harris having to defend her blue wall, and of course, Michigan is a major part of that. Walk us through what both candidates have planned in the state today.
Lindsay, the only county that either of them are going to that really could go either way is Kent County. That's Grand Rapids, where the VP is going to be starting her day. And that is a county that former President Trump won in 2016 and then President Biden won in 2020. But otherwise, we're seeing both of them focus really on, frankly, blue counties, counties that Donald Trump does not have a chance to win in, but that are the most populated counties in the state. So we look at places like Detroit, where Trump will have a rally tonight. He lost that state by over 35 points in 2020, but just getting about 30% of the vote, that is still 250,000 votes, which can make a big impact in that state. So the strategy we're seeing from former President Trump today has to do with getting more Republicans out in those districts that are going to be blue districts, while VP Harris is actually branching out and fighting for more of a battleground county today.
Let's talk about my home state of Arizona, not just because I'm from there, but because we have new CBS News polling that shows Trump leading Harris. What can you tell us about those numbers and what you make of them?
Yeah, Lindsay, I think if you read into some of the other questions asked in that poll, I think what you find is that the fact that VP Harris has so long been associated with the border and with being in charge of controlling the border, Republicans have had years now to paint her as insufficient and too soft on immigration, and that has really resonated in Arizona, a prime border state. We saw in there that about only 46% say that Harris would put immigrants above citizens, actually. I shouldn't say only. 46% of Arizonans say she would put immigrants before citizens. These are people who are coming here illegally, she's talking about, whereas for former President Trump, it is 67% who say he would put those citizens first. So I think when you look at Arizona, immigration is, frankly, the top issue for these voters, and VP Harris has taken a lot of hits on it over the past 4 years.
Let's stay there. Let's talk about the Senate race. It's a different story.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that the big difference with the Senate race is, frankly, just who the candidates are. With Ruben Gallego, you have a very seasoned and, frankly, very well-measured candidate who's been around and understands how to talk to these voters. With Kari Lake, you have someone who has sort of framed her political persona around former President Trump's persona. We've heard people on the ground there say that she's kind of like Donald Trump with all the bad but none of the good. She doesn't have the record to run on. She doesn't have examples of things she's accomplished, but she's sort of viewed, as we saw in some of those numbers, as more of an extremist. So I think while she may have policies that are the same as or analogous to former President Trump and he's doing well, voters have President Trump's administration to look back on and his accomplishments from that. They don't really have that for Kari Lake. What they really have is just a lot of very strong rhetoric. I think that's been hurting her.
Zak Hudak, thank you.